something like the virgin birth. I was like, even as a kid, did you not ever sit around going, how could that be? How could that? What's going on with that? I don't know about you. And then somebody would explain it to me. And I remember sitting as a kid thinking, that doesn't add up. I mean, I know the miracle thing and all that, but that seemed like a big stretch to me. And then, of course, this shift in consciousness happened. And immediately, when I went back and read that, I went, of course. It was beautiful. Of course, a virgin birth. Of course. So much gratitude welled up for, whoever came up with this thing. Whether it's true or not, I don't give a darn. It doesn't matter to me. Whether, these things happening historically, that's just a whole diversion. But I realized, of course, somebody was actually communicating it in a very clear language. That who we really are is not a product of the pairs of opposites. Who we appear to be appears to come from the pairs of opposites, right? The coming together. Good and bad, right and wrong, night and day, male and female, right? The coming together of the pairs of opposites, that's what the world of form is all about. Beautiful. Beautiful manifestation of spirit. But the I that I am and the you that you are, spirit itself doesn't come from anything. It doesn't come from the pairs of opposites. So even as you sit here in this room, it's very obvious what arises, your experience of what the pairs of opposites is it not? If you have any idea of what the pairs of opposites are, just reach down and touch your legs. That's when the opposites are functioning. It's called form. It's called a face. It's called hands. Right? It's called whatever you see. Right? That's the pairs of opposites. This is what you get when they intermingle. So in everyone's experience in this room at this moment, there is the world of the opposites, right? That which is born. That's what lives, breathes, heart beating, boom, 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 boom. There it is. And if you just notice, don't grasp at it, don't try to understand it, but right in the midst of this pairs of opposites, right in the midst of this form thing happening, right in the midst of your body and your mind and all that, everything you feel, there's also something else. You can reach down and touch all of your form. Think all your thoughts, feel all your feelings. Imagine all your imaginings. And when you're all done looking at all that, there's something else. But it's not something you can see. You can't reach down and touch it. You can't smell it. Not the essence of it. So there's something else. Right? Something that's not just form. Now that thing that little spark, that little silence, presence, that little thing that you know is there, you can sense it, you know it, you can feel it, but you don't understand it. If you think you understand it, you know less than somebody who says, I don't understand anything. So there's nothing to understand about it. But that spark, that aliveness, that within you that's unchanging. You can't grasp it though, can you? You can't really think about it. You can think around it. But there is that spark. That's the light of the world. That's the light in which everything else, that is the light that allows everything to come into being. And that light, that spark, that essence has no beginning in time. Like your body has a very distinct beginning, and it will assuredly have a very distinct end. But that presence has no beginning in time. It's totally outside of time. That's the virgin birth. You see, the recognition of that moment when there's that shift in consciousness, and you realize, aha, that's the shift in consciousness. That's the birth. That's the divine appearing here. Because that's the essence of the Jesus story, is it not? Man and God. God, a God-man, a man of God, son of God. Someone who was a person, a human being, like everybody else, and was also God. Of course, they didn't say, like everybody else. Because you can't make exclusivity if you say, like everybody else, you know. It seems to me when I read what Jesus himself was saying, he was trying to say that at every step. Every time he opened his mouth, he was, and these things and more. You shall do, and these things and more. So it seems like the Jesus himself actually was very clear on that it was an exclusive thing, but of course, when human minds grasp onto things, they make them about history and time and authorities and institutions and control and all other sorts of nonsense. But the essence of this is God or woman, either one, man, woman, and the divine. And that's what that moment of that recognition that right in this world of form, in your humanness, male or female, whatever it may be, there is simultaneously the recognition of a light of being that's neither man nor is it woman. It's the recognition of the essence of all of us. That instant, that moment of that recognition, that shift, that subtle shift of that recognition, that's the virgin birth. That's the birth. In this moment of time, there's the recognition of the timeless. Aha, right here, right in the middle of time, is the timeless. Boom. Right in the middle of this messiness, is the perfection.